Today we'll be watching Sherpanin 1 against the Granblue Night Rose, and why Night Rose is actually staying very relevant in Tier 1 currently. Firstly, it is a protect deck, so it will naturally do well against force decks, but also to mention this tech card, also known as the Skeleton Navigator. So what does it do? It actually rests 2 cards on the field, 2 rear guards, and then you are able to mill the top 5 of the deck. It turbos your drop zone very fast, and it allows you to have a pool of cards to superior call from, so it's very strong, and you can actually turbo your Skull Dragon very fast too. So Naros does go first here in this game, giving me the Shadow Bunny player the first to attack, and I do right to the brand one here, and not calling any unit further, swinging to another Abyssal Hour, and no trigger, unfortunate for me. So we do see him GST Sting here, and the best target to find here is actually Columbat, and he does find the Columbat here, which is the perfect right target. So what does he do? Econo plus 1, you can search your whole deck, and you mill 1 card, and you call 1 card from your drop zone. Essentially saying, just superior call 1 from your deck, or rather in the late game, it will just be a filter. So in this case, you'll be dropping the Kanzen here, as well as a crit here, riding into the Columbat. So what will he be superior calling here? Most games, or rather most Night Rose player here in this turn will just superior call the Ghost Ship, which was actually a dead card previously, but in this with this Columbat existing, it kind of allows you to actually just superior call the boat here, which hits for 24k by the way, and then giving you a draw one end of the battle. So we do see him committing to the Skeleton Navigator here, meaning a top 5, and we do see a Negrobone go into the drop zone. So Negrobone is also the reason why Night Rose is so strong, because with the simple cost of discarding 1, you can actually superior call anything from the drop zone as long as you have 10 drop count, which is not that hard, especially if you are playing Navigator. As you can see, I'm not able to afford a 20k card there, 20k guard there because of the Ghost Ship, which is swinging for 24k into my 8k Vanguard. And I do right into the Liaphon here. Most likely will be going to the Charon here, which will hit for 11k with the skill of the counter charge and plus 3k. I actually go for this soul charging grade 1 here. Very interesting play by me, and I'll be soul charging a grade 1 here. Quite, I would say, questionable play here, but probably I'm playing towards the Abyssal Hour, which I do have 2 in my hand. And hopefully I will maybe trying to soul charge the grade 3 there. But it didn't happen, but you know, it's part of a casual game and I'm trying to have some fun. And I do swing the Liaphon boosted here, hoping for a crit to push the damage here. And I do get a heal, and you can't complain about heals, and the heal does go off. So a minor replay here, because you do always want to counterblast the cards you want to send to the drop zone, because especially decks like Lot, you do want to take note of your drop zone very well. Especially such cards like Mofessa. And we actually do see the Granblue riding into the Skull Dragon here. And shortly we'll be seeing why Night Rose is actually so consistent. Because of another card in their arsenal is actually called the Greed Shade. And you do see him committing the Greed Shade here, milling 2 cards. And I believe there's a Night Rose in his drop zone, and he does pick it up back to hand. So sorry for the camera angle here, which we are not able to see the drop zone there, but I will be letting you guys know along the way. He's currently at a 15 drop zone on his first grade 3 turn. Talk about insane. Will he be committing further cards in this turn? Most likely not. He actually used a Negrobone here. If he most likely superior calling the Ghost Ship from the drop zone. Yes, he does. And this is 24k. Hitting at least a 15k guard from me. The Greed Shade can swing alone for a 14k attack, but he does swing the Ghost Ship first, which is a smart move because it does add a drop zone count for the Skull Dragon. And Skull Dragon will be swinging for a big number, which will be a natural no guard here. You do check into a Night Rose here, but he already have 1 into hand. And I do hit a damage trigger draw there, but not exactly what I wanted, because against the Skull Dragons, you really want that Kanzen in hand. So I'll be riding into the lot here, and do correct me if I'm wrong, because of the Neymar restriction now, you actually do not want to use Lord X skill as much as you want. Because of the first superior right, you are only able to call 2 Great Ones, and the other Great Ones you have to hardcore to fulfill the condition of the Mofasa. So using the effect to draw 1 and minus 1 of their units doesn't seem too good, unless they have a key unit to retire. In this game, actually, I was thinking if I would best retire the Navigator there, but the thing is, he already have a healthy amount of drop zone, so it's a bit too late to actually retire it. And I try to soul charge that, not hitting the Great 3, but I do hit a Great 1 there, and most likely I do have another Great 1 in hand to fulfill the Mofasa full effect. So yes, I do. So actually, I do have the intercept one there, and I'll be swinging the Mofasa here for 20k guard. He does no guard here, eating into a Negrobone, which is nice to see in my opinion for me, and I'll be super calling the brand one here, and swinging a Vanguard for 43k, and like as I mentioned just now, Night Rose can handle Force very well because it is naturally a protect deck. And because there's no Force marker on the right column, it only can afford to hit this side. And it's just a 5k guard, so the side is always better to hit because he can just intercept or rather throw a useless card in his hand. And we do see him riding the Night Rose here, and we shall see how Night Rose will actually abuse the skill here. And do note that he actually can still opt for the Navigator Mu 5. He actually uses the Night Mist here already, or we'll be calling actually a Banshee here. And what's so surprising about Night Rose is that actually it gives a steroid buff of 5k to all the units, and so all units will be, all your columns are actually hitting for at least a 15k guard. That's no funny matter because when you hit the Skull Dragon turn, you do need a lot of shields. So if he can milk all these shields right now, is quite strong. It's very strong in my opinion. And we will be seeing how he actually can farm with Night Rose alone because of the Banshee and this Ghost Ship there. He does swing the Ghost Ship first, and the Banshee. And it's actually hitting for 42k power. 30k guard right off the start. That's not nice at all. And I'm trying to guard here because most likely I'll be no guarding the Vanguard here. And he does draw 1. And he does swing the Night Rose here and will be super calling the same column, which allows him to draw additional 2 cards end of the battle. Talk about farming, you know. When Lord is supposed to be the farmer, but because of the Neymar restriction, Night Rose is doing very well. And I do no guard here. Actually, the meter is only 29k guard, so actually it's still no guard here, and I did open a crit immediately, which punishes me for the no guard. And power to the side because the Banshee lane, the Ghost Ship lane is already hitting such a high power, and I do eat into a double blank there. Very unfortunate for me, and he's going to be asking for a 30k and by a 30k guard. Sorry, the Ghost Ship actually hitting for 46k power column, so it'll be a 30k by a 35k guard. Just thinking about numbers really hurts. Especially when I know that the upcoming turn he's going to go for the 4 Skull Dragon attack. And I'll be explaining further how it will be done. So actually I do use the Abyssal Hour here. I do sack off the Abyssal Hour to draw 1 because at this point of time, I'm thinking to myself, I need to draw all the Kanzens. And we will be seeing me trying to farm out the Kanzens here by superior calling all the Abyssal Hour I do have in my deck. I'm just counting out all my great ones here. So 1, 2, 3. Yes, so I'll be able to call 3 great ones here, and with the 2 Abyssal Hours, I'll be able to Soul Blast 2 and drawing 2 additional cards. Oh, I actually went for the 3 Abyssal Hour here, really trying to max out the draw. Soul Blasting 3 to draw 3. And of course, spoiler alert, I don't actually draw the Kanzen at all. I do draw a 30k shoe probably, but it's not going to be enough against the Scout Dragons. So I do have the Morphesa in hand, I'll be hard calling it. And given that I already on my second crit return, all my great ones are actually hitting with a double critical lane. And it's going to be asking a 30k up front here. And as I mentioned again, because Night Rose does have Protect naturally, it can do very well against the middle lane, which is actually very huge. Because the middle lane is actually hitting for 38k alone, with a boost is 43k, and he does eat a damage trigger here, which will very much help him guard against me. And given that I only have 3 markers here, it's not exactly the best. Actually, apologies here. I think I did have misplaced one force marker here, so very unfortunate for that 10k less power. But the main point of this game is to showcase how Night Rose is so strong. I do open a double critical here, which does help me to push more power, but given the Night Rose hand, the force marker won't really matter. As you can see, his hand does look like a healthy amount and we will be able to afford the 10k extra guard. So apologies for the misplay there. He's thinking very hard how to guard this. And I'll be doing a hand size check. And I'm actually at a 13 hand size. And it does look very healthy, but against attacks like Skull Dragon, and to be 4 Skull Dragon at that, unfortunately it's not enough. And he does proceed to use the colors first to actually fill up the drop zone further, especially to counter charge as well. And we do see him milling to the column but which is not a trigger, so it's very nice for him. He does call the column bud here, using his skill to continue to filter the deck further. And we shall see what he will be filtering. So sorry, from this angle we are not able to see any card he's got new, but the thing is I feel that he mute a Negrobone there. So he does superior call the Negrobone, he does superior call the Skull Dragon through the Columbine effect, and he'll be using the Columbine skill, the Negrobone skill to superior call the Skull Dragon once again. And there's 2 Skull Dragon up without using the Night Rose skill yet. All the main phase call are happening, and given his drop zone count, it will be very sick in my opinion. And we'll be seeing calling most likely the Banshee here, because even though you do not want to draw, it is still a 13k beetle because of the Night Rose effect. And we do not see him actually committing one more card there. He actually calls a Skeleton there. Oh, he actually does overcommit here because the drop zone will matter. And I do ask him to count his drop zone because that play might look very weird, but it actually did help him achieve the magic number there. And there's 25 drop zone count, which is actually plus 50k, easy peasy. And the Scout Dragon is hitting for 67k alone. Ouch. And it's hitting for 80k guard here, which is asking for 70k guard. This ridiculous number, he's actually is busy counting the numbers while I'm busy counting the amount of shoes I need to throw. An average of, I need at least 280k of shields to guard the 4 Scout Dragon and not counting the Vanguard swing. This is when I really wish I was a Protect deck instead. And I did attempt to draw out all my cards, but I unfortunately only able to draw one Kanzen entirely. And I'll be conceding here, and we do see the PG, very annoying, and that's game. Thank you for watching to the end, and if you do like the content, do consider subscribing and liking and commenting on the video. Thank you.